Hagry and be here today. I have a great friend and powerful businesswoman with me that literally changes the lives of entire households and everybody they come into contact with. And I had the honor of meeting her a couple of weeks ago at a live mastermind event that I went to in Nashville. So, with that, I want to turn it over to you. Alejandra, tell us a little bit about you, your family, and just a little bit, give them a taste of what you do.
Thanks, Tanya. That was a really nice introduction. Yeah, well, as you said, we met a few weeks ago, and I'm so glad we did. Um, well, my name is Alejandra. I'm a pediatric sleep specialist and gentle sleep coach, and I work helping families get quality sleep, starting with their kids and from the newborn stage until 6 years old. So I've worked with like a big range of ages in the childhood period, and my mission is just to get people to sleep better, to have better lives, overall better life, life with their family, and to be better at work, and all the different hats that we all have, to be
Mhm.
able to do everything with energy and like with positivity, with a good mood. And so I that's what I do, with the families I work with. That's what I try to do.
I love this. Well, sleep, I titled it Sleep. Is it your superpower? Because I don't know about you, but when I need my sleep, and we
Hmm.
have discovered this over time, if I need sleep or if I'm hungry, it's just not good at
Yes.
all.
Hmm.
And I know a lot of business women and a lot of people in my orbit, the folks that follow me, um, came from public health and maternal child health and that kind of industry as well. So I tend to hear a lot about this and how the lack of sleep can really, really inhibit the household overall, especially going into fall. And as you and I were just talking, all the kids are bringing home all these
Yeah.
sicknesses and everything, it becomes more
Exactly.
important than ever to get good quality sleep.
Hmm.
Since I focus on business topics a lot, can you touch just a little bit? I mean, sometimes I feel like I'm just making excuses and I should be able to battle through and just make it okay when I'm low on sleep. But
Uh-huh.
can you talk a little bit of what happens for us when we are low on sleep as business women and productivity? Like, what is
Hmm.
actually happening in our brains? Like, what are we really up against when we're not getting enough sleep?
Yes. So when you don't sleep enough, when you don't get enough quality sleep, it affects both your brain and your body. So in your brain, what happens? It's like it impairs your thinking. It makes you less focused and more irritable. Also, it affects your memory. You don't make good decisions, or you know what, your brain, it impedes you from thinking creatively and productively, right? And as I said, it makes you less focused. And so over time, it also can lead to serious um, health problems like diabetes, heart disease, obesity. So when I work with kids, I also talk a lot about these, because if they don't sleep well, later on, it can bring health issues like these, right?
Right.
It makes you hungry. Like sometimes gives you anxiety, and it's because you haven't slept that you're feeling hungry, but it's more anxiety than hunger.
Mm-hmm.
It also, as a grown up, as an adult, it affects your hormones, um, and weakens your overall immune system, right? Just what you were saying about all the germs out there, the viruses. You need your sleep to be able to fight them. Because
Mm-hmm.
what happens when you sleep? When you sleep, everyone needs around like between 7 and 9 hours of sleep, right? Women even more than men. Why? Because we have more hormonal um, processes going on with us, right?
So, ladies, just stop there for one
Uh
second.
huh.
My husband and I were talking about this the other day, and physically, we
Hmm.
have more hormonal processes. Alejandra just said it. We
Hmm.
have more going on. That means there's more repair that needs to happen physically in our bodies. This is not just something made up.
Hmm.
We literally need more time for our bodies to get all that they need to gain from sleep, and we need more sleep than our
Hmm.
partners typically,
Yes.
than men in general. So just allow that and let that.
Hmm.
My husband, he is great on 5 to 6 hours.
And that's good for men.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I have to get my 7 to 9 hours. Like
Exactly.
it has to happen.
Our bodies need 30% more energy than a man needs just to be able to process everything that goes, you know, with, around our body, and our hormones and
Thirty
all our
percent more.
30% more energy we spend during the. So if you are more tired than your husband, that's because of this, because you're spending more energy just
Mhm.
for your body to function. So
Wow.
if you don't sleep, you lose that energy. You have less energy to process everything. So when you are sleeping, your body goes through different processes. It repairs muscle first, then some hormones, like for example, the hunger hormone releases at night. This helps you regulate hunger throughout the day. In children, the growth hormone releases during the night. So if you don't get the amount of time your body really needs to process everything, you're not gonna have enough time to get all the repairs and the and finish or allow your body to finish all the processes it needs,
Mhm.
in childs to grow, in people to your brain to repair neurological connections. All the neurons repair during your sleep. So if you don't allow your brain to repair, that's when you lose your focus, your memory gets affected. um, some people even get, like, if you are really sleep deprived for a long period of time, you can even have hallucinations. um, it can lead to, like, you're more accident prone because your reactions are not gonna be, spot on. You're not gonna be able to react um, well enough as if when you get a good night's sleep.
Okay. Okay.
So it's a whole thing that, and sometimes parents, it's normal for parents to not get a lot of sleep in the beginning because babies sleep just in small periods of time.
Mhm.
But this should improve. Like, if you establish healthy sleep habits from the beginning, your baby will start to sleep longer and longer fast, in the first months. And of course, that makes you sleep longer and rest rest all the time you need.
Happier, healthier family overall. Yes.
Exactly. Healthier and
Yes.
happier.
Yes.
Babies are less fussy if they sleep well. There are less tantrums once they start to grow up. Tantrums are normal in children, right? They don't know how to regulate their emotions. But if they are rested, they're going to be less fussy. They're going to understand better. If you are rested, also are going to have more patience with your
Mhm.
kids
Yeah.
during this time. And you're going to be more loving, more effective, more productive. There are studies that show that, you know, productivity decreases in about 29% if you sleep like 1 or 2 hours less every night.
Wow.
29%.
29% loss in productivity, just a 1 to 2% loss.
Just
That
in 1 or 2 hours
1 to 2
less sleep
hours less.
hours.
1 to 2 hours less, 29% loss in productivity. Well, there's your business pitch, Alondra. You have ROI, woman.
So
Seven
exactly.
days. scared everyone so much. Like, I think everybody kind of understands it, but I think when you kind of really look at it as a whole, on
Mm-hmm.
the importance and the difference that it makes. So, you work with families with children primarily between the ages of 0 and 6 and very high performing. A lot of times, the woman has a very high performing job.
Yes.
What are some of the things that are really like first line of, proactive change that families can make to really bring a difference to their household? And then, of
Mm-hmm.
course, tell us a little bit. We'll get into just a little bit about what it's like to actually work with you as well.
Well, I think the first thing you anyone can do is honor their circadian rhythm. That's
Mhm.
basically our internal clock. So honor it, respect it, right? So you can do that by establishing a regular schedule every day, the same wake up time and the same bedtime every day,
Mhm.
even weekends. Because sometimes on weekends we tend to sleep longer. Even myself, sometimes get like an hour more, a little bit more if I like my kids let me. But usually it's important to to get up at the same time and go to sleep at the same time. That way your circadian rhythm is gonna adjust and start producing all the hormones, all the everything it needs to get a quality sleep. Because if
Mhm.
you even if you get enough sleep, like for example 7 hours, if you're sleeping at different times every night, you're not getting into deep sleep as much as you could. And when you get to deep sleep, that's when all these processes start act your everything start processing the way it should. If you don't give your body enough deep sleep, it also you don't that's when you don't get quality sleep.
Right.
So
Deep sleep is when the magic happens.
sleep is one, but when quality sleeps happen, so
Mhm.
it's not the same to sleep long enough than having quality sleep. So that's actually different. But you can start then. If you regulate your natural clock, your body is gonna start trusting that, okay, at this time I'm gonna go to sleep, so I can prepare now,
Mhm.
to for all the processes I need to do during the night, and then you're gonna start getting deeper sleep, like more deep sleep during the night, and you are actually gonna wake up refreshed the next day.
Right. Feeling like you actually got good sleep as well.
Yes, because that happens. You can get enough sleep, like enough time, but not feel rested the next day.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
something's going on there too.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It is so interesting. I wear an Aura ring now, and it
Ah,
will it'll start telling me, it's like, "You're tired, you need to start getting ready for
uh-huh,
bed," and it shows a little graph of if I'm in my circadian times or whatever. But what's especially interesting is as the days have gotten shorter,
uh-huh.
my family, so my husband and the dogs and everybody, they sleep until the sun comes up. So instead of getting up at 5, they're
Yeah,
wanting naturally to get up more at like 6:30 or 7. And
uh-huh.
I'm still waking up at like 4:55. And I'm like, "Oh, come on, man." But
But it's because you just wake up. That's
yeah,
what your body needs.
yeah, exactly. So
Hmm.
I always say when I moved from the Midwest, I stay down Central Time. Like I
You
still get up.
stayed.
I get up earlier. I go to bed
Hmm.
way early. But it's staying within my body's natural, and then I
Yeah.
feel much better. I do much better. So I just
Hmm.
have had to embrace that that's just the way it's gonna be.
Yeah, and also, honor some people are more like a morning person, like me or you. Other people, can stay later and do well.
Yeah.
So that's
Yep.
why I say honor your own, circadian rhythm, and honor your own internal clock. But because not every people have the same sleep window, that w- the sleep window is when you start um, feeling sleepy at night.
Mhm.
So that's the sweet spot for you to go to bed.
Yeah.
Because if you go a little later, then your body starts saying, oops, why am I not sleeping? So it starts to release adrenaline, it starts to release cortisol, the stress hormone, and that actually keeps you awake longer, and it actually
Yes.
prevents you from going to deep sleep.
Yes. I very
Uh-huh.
much experience it's like they call it the second win.
That's
And
exactly the
and then
second
you're
win.
like, "Oh, you don't want your toddler to get the second win
Yes.
especially."
And sometimes parents, they see their kids are like, oh, but he's so active right now. At this time, he's so active. So they think they're not sleepy, right? But they lost their sleep window. And
Mhm.
that's because they have now they release cortisol and adrenaline. They're hyper. They're active, after
Mhm.
at those times. So for kids, you also have to get to know them, get to know their patterns, get to know their sleepy cues. And some kids, especially toddlers, are like they can hide their sleepy cues so well. So that's why it is important to have a established schedule and respect that schedule. Prepare your kid, prepare yourself to go to sleep, right? So imagine my sweet window is around 9 p.m. because I wake up early too. I wake
Mhm.
up around 5, so at 9 I'm already like ready to sleep, but I
Mhm.
still need to prepare my body to go to sleep. So starting my own bedtime routine around 8 would be like maybe reading a book, doing all my like beauty
Mhm.
routine also with a dim light, no screens, because screens also prevent you for like producing enough melatonin to get to fall
Mhm.
asleep. So there's a lot of different factors that affect the quality of your sleep. um, so yeah, establish a regular schedule, but also prepare your body for a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've noticed that turning off screens especially is a big deal, like
Mm-hmm.
transitioning.
Yeah.
My ring says at 8:15, that's when I
Uh-huh.
should start getting ready for bed. It says time to prepare. It literally says
Time to
exactly that.
prepare. Exactly. You have to prepare your body, because if you're like watching TV and your lights are bright, and you are on your phone answering, text or talking with someone, and then your ring says, okay, it's 9, time to sleep, you're not gonna fall asleep because your body
Exactly.
is not ready. Your brain has not gone through the time of relaxation, of winding down, for it to be able to just shut down and sleep. Hmm.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've
Hmm.
noticed that. I've noticed that.
Hmm. And also, I don't know what else people can do. Outdoor activities. I saw you saw my post yesterday about that. It helps the sun, uh, the nature, the smells, all that stimulation you get from going outside also helps your body get tired physically, and your brain to calm down and relax,
Mhm.
to be able to go to sleep at a good time. Hmm.
Yeah. I think walks make such a difference. I read a study about the difference that a walk can make for
Uh-huh.
people going outside, like just the in mood and everything, just what seeing nature does to the
Exactly.
brain is
Hmm.
just fascinating. And then nutrition obviously plays a huge
Also.
role.
Hmm.
Well, I help a lot of people with getting really highly absorbable magnesium and like just
Hmm.
making sure you're kind of doing those things and then not eating too late at night. I'm sure that comes up
Also.
in some of
Yeah.
you know,
Hmm.
your different coaching as well.
Hmm.
So when people want to work with you, what's some of the first things they can do to learn more and to kind of see what part of the program may be a good fit for them? Like who do you typically work with, Alejandra?
I typically work with people that are committed to their health more than just sleep, their
Mhm,
health, and the value that sleep brings to their family,
mhm,
right? And so the families I work with, they make changes, like they make immediate changes, starting with their schedule, starting with their routines. And you know what? The biggest change they do is not about their kids, but their own um, rhythm. So it's people that realizes that it's not all about their kids, but the whole family, and that they are gonna need to change things also, and that they're not gonna have immediate changes, but they're looking for long term results. And they actually do get immediate results. Like if you work on your schedule, you're gonna notice some
Mhm.
change. So
Mhm.
parents notice this immediately, but they are looking also for long term results. So that's when a whole package comes into play, right? The I work with them in different periods of time. Some people choose just a 3 week package. Other people are working, which is the most common, the 6 month package that I offer, because I teach them what changes. We make a plan about what changes they can make initially, and then we work together on making them a habit,
Yeah.
and then I bring accountability, and they have tasks they get to do, and we work in stages. First we're going to change this, then we're going to change that. We don't make like drastic changes in the family, because that's not going to be long lasting.
Right. Right.
Hmm.
Keep the habits once you've built them up, and
Exactly.
through
It's like,
different seasons too. Like
yeah.
as to transition at least through one time change and a couple of holidays and figure
Hmm.
out, how can you long term maintain that habit stacking and that broader view of wellness that you've brought
Yeah.
to your family's household.
And it's like, when you are on a diet, like if you go from eating hamburgers every day to eating salads every day, it's not gonna last. You're gonna get bored. You're gonna miss the hamburgers, right? So you have to slowly change your habits. And that's exactly what happens with sleep also.
Mhm.
Parents, and sometimes I work with kids that are, I don't know, 18 months old, 2 years old. I've worked with kids 5 years old. Every kid have different needs, but they also are used to something, some habit, yeah, that they need to change for 18 months, for 2 years. So you cannot ask the kid to change something they're used to
Yeah.
for that
Yeah.
long.
Yeah.
So you need to make gradual changes,
Mhm.
to achieve that. And then just consistency, and if there's a regression, make a plan. And that's why I'm there, right, to help them go back, change the plan, see what works, see what doesn't. Every child is different. Also, the temperament is very important in this. Hmm.
Mhm.
Some kids are more flexible, others are more cautious. They need more, like, even more gradual, a more gradual approach. Other are like super alert, and it's even more gradual that you need to work with the kids. So helping the parent realize everything that comes into play when it comes to making life changing, long lasting changes in their family's life.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Hmm.
think one of the things that I thought when I was reading some of the testimonials from families that have worked with you, and even some of the families that I've been around,
Uh-huh.
if you don't, if the family can really be a prisoner to sleep or
Hmm.
to the lack of sleep.
Yeah.
Like if the child has to have a certain situation always when they're on vacation, or maybe they even skip vacations or skip visiting grandparents or something like that because sleep is so
Hmm.
complicated in the household, it really does become something that inhibits the things they want to do. So for
Hmm.
me, as I was reading some of the testimonials, I was thinking through, like some of them really got that freedom and flexibility, and that, it can be very empowering to know that no matter where we go, now we have a plan, we have a routine, and it's going to work even if we're in a different location, or we can
Exactly.
go on vacation and still everybody can get good sleep, and things of that sort. So it's really a gift, the work that you do, Alejandra. And I was excited to just
Same.
chat with you a little bit, and
Uh-huh.
maybe introduce more people to the opportunity to work with you if they've never heard of working with, I mean, a sleep coach really for the whole family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And working through
You
this.
know, before getting your baby to sleep was leaving them to cry. That's what it, people heard, right? Like when I talk to people that have bigger, like older kids, that's what they say. You know, the pediatrician told me to just let them cry, and in 2 weeks they're gonna sleep. Or control crying. Even control crying is like when you time, okay, yeah, I'm gonna give it five minutes to cry, and then I'm gonna come in, right? Even that, it's um long term, it's not gonna help your baby because okay, every method works, right? Every method works. You can teach your baby to sleep with different styles, but the approach I bring is a more gradual, respectful, parent present, because studies show that when the parent is next to the child, even when the baby is crying, the cortisol and the stress hormone levels are low compared to when the baby is by himself,
Mhm.
you know. So, but as I was saying, before this wasn't discovered, there wasn't enough studies, people didn't know about this. So the only tool they had was to leave them to cry. But so what I want people to know is that now there are studies that show, and there are different methods, and then there are methods that you can adjust to your own family dynamic. So even though can work with two kids, same age, you know, they're going through the same milestones and the same developmental stage, their plans could be completely different because they depend on their family dynamics, their values, the family values. And most of the people I work with are people that want to avoid their babies to cry.
Mhm.
You know, they want their babies to know that they are loved and that they are, you know, gonna be held when they cry. And so we work around that, and we actually try for the baby to not cry during the process. Hmm. And that's why sometimes and it's my most common package is the 6 month package, because we work in different stages to make the baby comfortable and to make the parents comfortable with the plan. Every plan is made, you know, hand in hand with the parents, and they it's actually them who make the plans and decide this is gonna work, this is not gonna work, I don't think I'm comfortable with this. I can make suggestions, but they are the ones that decide how it's gonna go and how they're gonna work toward their goals.
And I would think a lot of times just having someone to work through the process with so you don't feel so alone has got to feel just comforting for the parent.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. And sometimes when you are in the situation and you're not sleeping, you're not having enough sleep, as I said, you're not thinking creatively, and having a third person, you know, an external person, just looking at from the outside can gives you a different perspective,
Yeah,
and exactly give you a little bit hope, a little bit of hope, give you different ideas that you haven't thought, um, and just think out of the box.
I love it.
Think out of the box in order to, yeah,
Yeah, I love
to
it. I
achieve.
think in every aspect of our lives, it's always helpful to have an expert opinion and
Yes, in every aspect, I agree.
to
Mhm.
get some of that subjectivity and just, out
Mhm.
of the way and just be able to take a bigger look at the overall wellness of, the broader view of wellness for your life. So
Mhm.
I'm excited that we were able to talk a bit today and just talk a little bit more
Same.
about what you do and the impact sleep can have on productivity and wellness. And I know some people have been commenting and got a lot out of this half an hour with us. So thank you so much for joining me, Alejandra. We'll make sure that there's some links
Thank
to
you for
connect with you
having
below.
me.
Yeah.
Yes, and I also have free resources. So if you go to my website, you can find that too. My blog talks a lot. I talk a lot about what you can do with your newborn, how to establish healthy habits, how to set up a good routine. You know, so feel free to go browse around, and I'm here if anyone needs extra help.
Love it. And can you just list off the website for us quickly?
It's easynightgsc.com.
Easy Nights with an S.
G yes, easynightsgsc.com.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you so much. And
Thank
thank you for
you,
joining
Tanya.
us, everyone. And we'll talk again soon.